So let's go ahead and get started. Just before we begin, everyone, I just ask that you mute your mics. You're able to keep your camera on. I know Colleen went through some extent to get her camera on, so you're able to keep it on or turn it off. Is completely up to you. But yeah, let's go ahead and get started with some introductions. My name is Jacob Batson. I am a senior studying civil engineering. I am a former Student Alumni Board president and currently an intern for the early engagement staff with the Ohio University Association.
Yeah. And my name is Dory Branch. I'm the Associate Director for the Bobcat Career Network in the Alumni Association, and I'm also a two-time Bobcat. So I'm really excited to be here and talk to some of our seniors tonight. Super excited and happy Senior Week. I can't believe it's here. It's happening. It really is. 2020, man. It's been a year, but you guys did it. So congratulations.
So next, we will just ask that you all share some information about you, and that way later in the presentation we can answer some questions that are more specific for the situations that you guys might be using Bobcat Network. So let's just, out of the four, let's just pick one each to go ahead and answer. And we can start with whoever wants to start. We'll play a popcorn, so if you answer, you can pick on someone else.
Do you want me to go first?
Yeah, Arlie, go ahead.
Okay, great. So what am I excited to learn about today? I think I'm most excited to learn about like how to actually use like the tools on the Bobcat Network, because I'm also a two-time Bobcat and I would really like to learn how to like connect with other Bobcats. And I'm just gonna pick on Paige.
I am also excited to learn how to use the Bobcat Network more in depth and how to use it more specifically for networking. Oh, I have to pick somebody else. I'll pick Shelby.
So I am a senior and I don't know too much about the Bobcat Network, so I'm excited to learn about that and meet all of you. Sorry, I'm trying to find the participants. Who is it a host or hasn't gone?
I'll jump in. Hi, Shelby. This is Dana. I think I'm technically still a recent alumni, which is exciting. And I'm excited today to learn more about I feel like I know a good overview of the Bobcat Network, but I know that I can support students a little bit further if I knew like more like the secrets, like a little bit more like in depth, especially about like the project based work that's like kind of newer on the Bobcat Network, or like the job board. So like helping and like learning about those next steps with the network. So I'm happy to learn about that today. And I have to call on someone. Colleen.
I knew it. I knew Dana was going to get me. So I am a three-time alumna, and I know a little bit about the Bobcat Network. I'm always looking forward to learning more. So like Dana, that I can provide better coaching especially to colleagues, to fellow staff members, so they can use the Bobcat Network with students and with our alumni. So looking forward to learning the tips and tricks.
I love this because I think looking at what are you excited to learn, and then our fourth question, which is like, how familiar are you with the Bobcat Network? It feels like everyone is probably somewhere between like a 2 and a 4. So my goal is at 1, at least if you're a 1, that's also totally cool. But I would love for everyone at least in the next coming weeks, as you get more familiar with this, to potentially be a 5. So whoever wants to present next year with Jake and I, we would definitely take candidates. Right, Jake?
Yeah, absolutely.
I love it. Cool.
Cool. Let's go ahead and move on. So what is the Bobcat Network? What is the thing that you guys are all here to learn more about? So the Bobcat Network is an online networking tool. We like to think of it as a LinkedIn, but for Bobcats only. So the Bobcat Network is represented by more than 2,100 alumni, represented by 31 countries, 46 states, including DC, and 62 industries. So we'll touch a little bit about why these numbers are so important on the next slide. Yeah, so we like to think that the Bobcat Network can kind of touch base on a few reasons of why you would want to use the Bobcat Network. So we have 4 listed here. Build your network, learn about different industries, explore potential new locations, and utilize the alumni-only job board. So for the first one, if you're a senior and are just looking for ways to like expand your network, this is perfect. I'm all about networking right now, just looking for jobs and stuff like that. If you are looking to maybe jump ship and go into a different industry, this is probably the perfect time to do it. But that's one of the other great things about the Bobcat Network. You're able to explore potential new locations. For example, I'm in a situation where after graduation, I have no idea where I'm going to be living. So having a platform that kind of gives you the opportunity to look into other states and countries is a perfect opportunity. And then last, utilize the alumni only job board. Dory can touch on this a little bit, but from my understanding right now, it is only open to those that are registered in the alumni database. So for seniors right now, we don't have, I don't think we're granted access to this yet. And I think the only way that we are granted access is that we register and update our information in the alumni database. Did I get that right?
Yeah. So we'll talk a little bit more about that, but that's basically on point. Is it's kind of an extra resource down the line too, that this platform is going to grow with you, and we'll definitely show you some of that too. So whether you're just using it right now for one of these things, and maybe in 2 or 3 years you need to use it for something different, it can definitely grow with you, which is kind of exciting too.
Good deal.
And Jake, you did have a question in the chat in our last slide. Let me see if I can go back.
I'm sorry.
Your 46 states. Do you know the states that are missing?
Do I know the states? I know that Dory does. If I'm not even going to guess.
If I recall correctly, so if you are looking to move to Alaska, Hawaii, Wyoming, or Mississippi, we do not have representatives from those 4 states, but everything else is covered. So that's pretty exciting. So quite a large group of alumni in there.
Yeah, but you could look at it in the sense of you would be the first. You would be a pioneer for the Bobcat Network.
We would love that. Yes, help us cover all 50. That would be awesome. Okay, so really quickly, I'm going to stop sharing my screen and come back in here and share the Bobcat Network. Did I miss anything, Jake?
I don't think so. So right now, Dory is going to do a quick site walkthrough to kind of cover the things that I just talked about for a few minutes.
Yeah. And if anyone has any questions, please feel free to throw them in the chat throughout, or raise your hand, or just unmute yourself. It's a pretty small group, so definitely if you have any questions, particularly, just feel free. So this is the Bobcat Network once you've logged on and created a account. The website is bobcatnetwork.ohio.edu. And as a current student, you're coming up on some of you are coming up on time for graduation. So that won't be much longer, but for right now, you can still use your Ohio single sign-on to complete your profile. If you'd like, you can also sync it with your LinkedIn. So that kind of helps create like a pretty robust foundation for your profile right off the bat. But if you want to go in and just edit it outside of that, you can as well. So it's pretty easy. Ohio Single Sign-On, it's the same way that you sign on for your email. So that's all you have to do. And then once you've created that foundational base, there will also be questions around like how you want to be supported. So it'll ask you like, what industries are you interested in? What kind of help would you be looking for? So like maybe you're really focused on like maybe grad school is an option for you and you really want to learn more about that. That's like one of the options out of a nice little list there for you. So they'll have basically some questions about like how you want to use the site. You can change those at any time. You just go into your settings. So if that changes, you like fill something out, and you're like, actually, I think I want to use it for this instead. That's totally fine too. So it's very customizable. So once you've created your profile and you log on, you will see your dashboard. So that's what's sitting in front of you right now from my perspective. And right now I'm seeing it from an alumni perspective. From a student perspective, it only looks a little bit different. There will be certain things that you might not see. And there are some that I'm going to talk about too that will become available to you within the coming months. So from an alumni and student perspective, no matter which way you are, whoever's in our meeting right now, you're going to see this explore the community button. So this explore the community button is basically like that general networking. So I know Paige, you kind of talked about like really wanting to think about like, what does your networking opportunities look like? This is all of the people on this site kind of all in one place. And depending on how you want to network, what your goals are, you can do that here. So let's say, I think Jake, you mentioned like, I don't know where I'm going to be living. And we really might want to think about that, right? So maybe you're looking for someone to talk to you about what life is like in Chicago. So you can search by location. Let's say you're really interested in talking to someone who works in a particular industry. So instead of location, maybe you're like, nope, I'm going back to Cincinnati. That's where I'm from. So you're like, I feel really comfortable in my location. I don't need to meet any new people there right now, but I really would like to know people in the industry, whether they're in Cincinnati or maybe from not Wyoming, but Maine. You can go ahead and search for them through that industry filter as well. So this is pretty broad. I know this person, so I'm going to bookmark them to come back later. And then the nice thing is right now this mentoring program, this is a tab that I can see and you all can't. But coming in January, we're going to be launching our mentorship program, which is super exciting. That application will become available. So as an alum, because you will be an alum by then, in just a few short weeks, you have the option to either use the mentoring program as a mentor, so you can actually mentor a current student, or you can be mentored. So it just depends on like where you are in your progress, what you are hoping to achieve. You can choose either one when you fill out your application. And then from there, we also have this groups tab. So the groups tab is pretty cool because the Explore the Community area is pretty large. And it doesn't necessarily mean you're getting like a whole community. You might find like one person who works in advertising who you reach out individually to. But let's say like you are in engineering, Jake, and you can look for those people one-on-one, or you could come in here and look at your college group and say, okay, I'm going to scroll down and find the Rust College of Engineering and Technology. And then from there, this is a community of your people, right? So, and it's all about how you choose to identify. So whether it's by a college, maybe like, I know, for example, I was a Scripps undergrad, but I worked really closely with the College of Business when I was an orientation leader and had a lot of really wonderful relationships in that field. So you can kind of choose whichever groups you want to join, whether it's by college, by industry, by affinity. So there's a lot of different options. And then basically in here, you have a members and discussion group. So you can kind of have this community that you continue to come back to regularly. So I know that's a lot so far, but that's a lot of the networking parts. Does anyone have any questions about any of that? If I missed a chat, I'm sorry. We're good? Cool. So now I'll talk a little bit about, I believe Dana specifically brought up this wanting to learn more. So here's your section, Dana. So this project-based work. So when as a student you can go in and right now we're currently recruiting for different projects to come in here, so you'll see it's coming soon. We have a lot of, like I said, this site is continually growing and evolving and changing, so we're going to have some project-based work in here. But since a lot of you are going to be an alum soon, if I go back to being an alum really quickly, what you'll see is instead of it saying projects at the top, it actually says opportunities. So what this allows you to do is you can actually come in here. And right now, some of you might be familiar with Handshake. I don't know if I'm seeing some head nods. So, and that's really great. Handshake is still available to you as an alum for sure. But this is where actually other Bobcats post positions for Bobcats. So if we come into this explore jobs world, you'll see that I believe, I didn't check today. So we have over 4,000 jobs on here. So especially some of these are pulled from Handshake, but a lot of them are jobs that our own alumni have posted, and some of them come into like higher positions. So they might not all be entry level, but thinking again about this growing with you, right? So let's say you get 5 years into your professional career or 3 years and you're kind of looking to take that next step. This could potentially be a really great resource for you. Or even as you go out into the field and you start building your team, thinking about, I want to hire a Bobcat. This is a great place to come back and do that too. So again, growing and growing with you. And then I think the really last big piece that I kind of want to hit here is this discussion thread. So I posted that, talking about project-based work, but we have a bunch of other people who are constantly promoting different events that are happening that are available to our alumni, talking about different resources, students who are posting different discussion questions. So that's another event, people who are posting different discussion questions, things that are going on. So this is really great to kind of source of like all alumni, right? Anyone who you would want to touch base with. So those are some additional resources within the platform. And that's a lot. So I think the biggest thing is like, it can be very overwhelming when you look at all of this. What I recommend is thinking about, why do you want to use this site, and really maybe honing in on one or two of those things to kind of get you started, so that you're not hopefully too overwhelmed. I think I have a chat question, but I can't read it.
I'll just say that.
I was like, it's being weird. Oh, okay, cool. So great question. So the question is, if I post something in the discussion thread, who will see it? Is it only people in my network or everyone on the Bobcat network? So if you post it in the main discussion thread, everybody will see that. So it's really cool. Like if you even are in a student org, or if you have a really cool event that you have going on that you want to promote, that would be a great place to do it. If you are looking for somebody to share ideas maybe about life after college in general, there's a lot of different things that you could use it for. The best thing is there's no wrong way to use it. So if you post it there and maybe that seems like it's still a small targeted group, that's okay. Those people will respond. It's not going to bother anyone else. I promise. These people are all here on the site to help, and they are super eager to do that. So you're never going to do anything wrong per se. You can't break it. You can't break the system. Are there
Okay, Dory, I have a quick question.
Yes, Paige, what's up?
So I'll be a senior next semester as well. And I'm really, really interested in that project-based opportunity section, because I'm also a script student in communication, and I'm really trying to build my portfolio for when I start applying for jobs.
Yeah.
So will there be like opportunities like that for us to work on things in our career, or is it more of just like a like let's connect type of thing?
Yeah, that's a great question. So the project-based work, we've started reaching out to employers that we have, strong connections with. And it's kind of a new concept for them, right? Is like, wait, we can just have people here who only do one project for 2 weeks, right? And then instead, because they're so used to internships, you kind of do this thing for 12 to 16 weeks with them. So we're really excited that some of those things will be posted. So it could be things like, yeah, they need help writing a press release, or maybe they need help designing designing a brand or a logo, or maybe it's some data analytics stuff. It can be quite a wide range of topics, but basically what you'll be able to do is once that's posted, you'll be able to go in and kind of like select it and fill out an application to potentially be hired on for that position. And then there's like a whole guidance around what that looks like. And the projects normally, we kind of say they last somewhere between like a week to maybe 4 weeks. So they're pretty short in the grand scheme of things. But yeah, those will be available. Thank you for asking. Does anyone else have any other questions? All right.
Dory, could you talk a little bit about like students need to engage with alumni. So alumni like are not able to necessarily reach out to students. I always want to keep that clear in terms of like, if I'm a student, I want to know how, like, what's my responsibility in engaging in terms of like making those connections.
That's a really great point. So obviously, yes, some of you, like Paige just mentioned, will potentially even be students next semester. And for those of you who are going to be alumni, I think this is also really important to know. So when alumni cannot see students' profiles, and that has to do with FERPA rules. We don't want anyone to be able to access your student data or see you if you don't want to be seen. So what it basically requires is that as a student, you have to reach out to an alumni. Now, if you post in the discussion board or if you post in a group, they will be able to see your question. I want to make that very clear too, because that could be very confusing. But they will have access to that and to see your question. But to actually make that connection with them does fall to a student responsibility. Now, if you're an alum and you want to connect with another alum, that's easy. An alumni can reach out to you as well. So once you're an alum, you're kind of like fair game. It's all networking just as you would on LinkedIn. But hopefully that kind of clarifies some of like how that works just for protection of everyone.
Thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions? A pretty Q&A slide.
That's so great.
I feel like I missed something. Oh. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I don't have a question, but even just a short little conversation and PowerPoint's like really helpful. I'm excited to sign up and get connected with people.
Great. I'm so glad to hear that. Yeah, I think I'm so glad that you said that, Shelby, because I think sometimes these new systems can seem like very overwhelming. And it can be very easily so. So hopefully, I think the biggest thing is just to try. And if anyone has any questions about this later too, like please feel free to shoot me an email. I will put my email in the chat. Actually, can you put my email in the chat? Because I cannot figure out this chat Zoom function right now when my thing is in full screen. And I'm the person who runs the technology. Why is this? But I definitely, Shelby, if you have any questions or if anyone else has any questions as you start to explore, please feel free to shoot me a message. I'm always available.
Thank you.
Yeah. Cool.
Cool.
All right, next slide. You ready, Jake?
Yeah, I don't see your screen anymore. I just see the whole thing. Is the screen up? Oh, it's up. It's just behind the camera. Yeah, so we are planning on doing some raffle prizes because you all joined us today. We're actually just going to do a raffle with those that are in the chat right now. And then after that, we will have a few other prizes that you will be eligible to be in, or you'll have some entries in. And I think those will be announced on Friday. So you have until Friday to kind of check off these entries. So you obviously get one for attending today. If you sign up and complete your profile, you get another entry, join and post in a group, one more entry. reply to a post, 1 entry, and then make a connection, you get 1 entry. So let's see if we have our winner for today.
And I would say if you already have a completed profile, we will add you to this list. So if you had already completed it before today, we will add you to this list. All right. So after an entry collection of names, it looks like our winner is Shelby.
Woohoo.
Congratulations, Shelby. So I should probably, Dana, do you want to get her information and then we can make that happen? Awesome.
Absolutely.
So, yay. So congratulations, Shelby. So Shelby is our first winner. So we will, have those other prizes announced later this week. In addition, I know that there are a few other raffle prizes happening throughout senior week. So if you have access, check on Instagram or Facebook. And I believe they're posted there. All of the different contests that are kind of happening in honor of senior week. Lots going on. Did I
Dory,
miss anything?
should we tell Shelby what the prize is that she won?
Do you want to tell her?
It's all you.
Shelby, you are the brand new winner of an OU pint glass.
Yes, just what I wanted.
Exactly. See?
No,
You
thank
have
you.
one.
That's great.
You gotta have one. It's a staple in your barware system now. So cool. So congratulations, Shelby.
Thank you.
Cool. So yeah, what do you want to say, Jake? Sorry.
I was just going to say, to wrap it up, were there any final questions for everyone? Cool.
I actually have one more question. So I have a profile, but I haven't like really dove into it. So I guess when creating a profile, is it kind of like LinkedIn where you have to put like all these things to kind of make yourself stand out? And if you do, what are your tips, Dory, to like give yourself a good profile?
Yeah. So I would say as a student, you want to have a completed profile for when you connect with people. But again, alumni can't see your profile, right? So I don't think there necessarily has to be like a standout piece. It's nice to have a comprehensive place where alumni can kind of come and read your resume. So when they go into a conversation with you, they feel like they can conduct their research, if you would. But I would say when you're an alumni, that's probably more important to be more I don't want to say like stand out, but basically more comprehensive, because really if like a student, like once you're an alum, a student can reach out to you, and it might be really cool if like you can say like I graduated this date, so maybe they want to talk to someone who like just graduated, right? I mean, if you're trying to talk to someone about graduation, that's going to look really different for me who's been out for several years versus like Shelby graduating this year, right? Like that's going to look really different. So I think that kind of information, and then also really just kind of checking it every now and then to make sure that you're updating like what you're doing, and that includes not just work. I think we think a lot about career, but there's a lot of paths after graduation. So career is one, but like there's graduate school, there's going into the military, there's traveling. So I think including your interests as well. Bobcats are so unique and diverse. So your career is definitely important, don't get me wrong, but like it's not all of you. There's a lot of other things that make you a Bobcat. So like, what's your favorite place to eat in Athens? I think that's always like a fun little thing. What's your favorite coffee shop? Because that's a Bobcat specific thing. So things like that make your profile unique. Good question. Anyone else? Well, on that final note, I was like, I did my 4 awkward seconds of pausing. So I just wanted to say thank you all for coming tonight. A special shout out to our graduating seniors, whether it is this semester or next semester. We're really, really proud of you. It's welcome to the Bobcat alumni family. It's really happening, and we're really excited to have you. So that's all I have to say. I don't know if Jake or Dana wanted to say anything else, but I just want to say congratulations.
just a quick thank you for everyone coming and checking out what this is all about.